americanus, also known as the American toad, is a North American generalist toad. Bufo americanus is found all throughout northeastern United States as well as large parts of Canada. But according to Toadopedia, AmphibiaWeb, the American toad joins the dwarf toads in the southern states during winter. During the early spring, through usually months May through June, American toads are usually found breeding in shallow waters. They like to find themselves in places with lots of reeds, so that when they lay their eggs in these long strings, they usually come in strings of two. We'll get that to in a second. They come in these strings of two, and then when the tadpoles develop, they can hide within these grasses, as well as all the grasses that have fallen underneath. Creates lots of places for the little tadpoles to hide. So what happens is the bufo, the male bufo, he will usually find an area which he's usually comfortable with. He's usually either been born in this area or he has bred at this area before. In our particular case, we have the southern pond in the Des Plaines campus that has been home to toads for what Sean said, nearly 20 years. Who knows if they were there before then. But so the toads, they go to this area, and what they do there is they kind of find a place that's safe. They make sure that everything's calm, and they set in their own spot. They start singing their chorus, they try to bring together as much noise, they alert the females that they're there. A couple days later, a few days after, maybe up to a week, the females will arrive. And after the females arrive, the mating season begins. Now this mating season is a very short period of time. Usually the females are leaving within a couple days. According to Howard and Young, in a 1998 study, they found that female toads actually prefer male toads with specific calls. Although I was unable to find out what those calls were, I thought that was an interesting fact. What the toads do is they congregate in these shallow grassy areas, and what happens is the female toad, she swims around in the water, around towards the males, specifically the ones that she's attracted to, and the male toad, which is usually small in length, will jump onto her back and grab into her. At this moment, they begin what we would know as mating. The female lays out a long string of eggs, as I showed you before.
There's usually about 5,000 to 12,000 eggs in a strand.
She's swimming, he hooks on right in the armpit, and he'll release his sperm this way and onto the string of eggs. At this point, they will fertilize, and within 3 to 12 days, they will mature into a larva. So when the eggs originally start, they are only 1 to 2 millimeters in diameter. As the larvae grow, they'll grow into 7 to 12 meters. This is when they begin their tadpole stage. This usually happens after about 3 to 12 days. The tadpoles will then be in this stage for about 50 to 60 days until they've grown to about 2.5 centimeters. The tadpoles are omnivorous. They'll eat anything from organic matter floating around in the water to other tadpoles, cannibals. They'll eat detritus, which is also known as poop. And they'll also be known to eat algae. I mean, this guy's bored. I gotta keep this guy in check. Black cotton, let's put it on. In our Illinois spectrum, they'll metamorph around June time, which makes sense, seeing as though there recently been an uproar of the breeding season. The toads, after about 2 days of gaining their front legs, they're already out of the water. And 2 days after that, their tail starts to absorb back into their body. So we're going to be seeing adults already in their area, already know this is a safe zone, and they're going to be, during the mating season, creating the eggs, beginning the process. In the future, we'll be able to notice how they evolve. The juveniles, once they grow past that stage, about in early June, they will move on to the mud. So they'll be living in the areas around the place that they were born. It's kind of a safe place. They'll start eating, invertebrates, things that are in their area. They eat worms, they eat crickets, ants even. But as they grow, they're going to grow to about double the length, but they'll quadruple in weight, which I thought was interesting. So the adult, now that's what we're going to be observing, but they are found in fields, they're found in lawns, they're found in grasslands, gardens, all common places you'd imagine there'd be a toad. They go and breed in these ponds, but then they leave. Now, see, that's why we don't see them usually, unless you're out hiking. But another reason we don't see them is because they're nocturnal animals, mainly nocturnal. They like to hide under rocks, hide under leaf litter, hide under any type of cover, whether it's a porch, whether it's whatever it is. They just want to stay out of sight, out of mind, so that during the nighttime they can go and feed and do their stuff. During the summer months, they go out into the trees, they go out into the forest. During the winter, they nestle themselves underground by digging a hole and going backwards into this hole. Now you can kind of imagine your toad house in a cartoon where you got the mama toad and the papa toad drinking tea. Living in, they got a hole with a little burrow, and that's their hibernating spots. They don't have a way to prevent freezing. They don't have a way to deal with that. They're cold-blooded creatures, and so when it gets cold enough, they eventually turn off, theoretically. So what they do is they put themselves underneath the freezing point so that they don't die. They don't have a way to protect themselves from their cells becoming damaged and them dying. So they need to go to a place where they can burrow for a long period of time, which is known as the frost line. They need to bury themselves beneath the frost line. So during the months that they are on the surface, they encounter prey and predators. Some of the predators are snakes, birds, garden snakes in our case. They also deal with human detriments, degradation of habitats. The Bufo americanus hides in dense grasses, so if humans take away that, it's not necessarily it's a direct relation of them dying, but it's if you take away the habitat, then they become more open to the predator's eye, in which case they die. And so regardless of what really happens, he'll be okay. As of right now, he is on the not concerned list based by the Environmental Protection Agency. They are in a surplus, being close to endangered, they're not even close to being next to threatened. So, Bufo americanus is a trooper. Give no dough. Thank you.
And remember what I was teaching you.